This video is sponsored by RenderHub. Stick around to find out more about their brand new Sexy Robot Contest version 3 and also the 3D and CG event calendar for upcoming events for 3D artists. So, the folks at Epic Games have just released Unreal Engine 5.8, and here are all the cool features that are now available with this recently release. And this is very focused on animation, visual effect, flows, performance, and a ton of cool new tools that creators would definitely like. First off, Unreal Engine 5.8 now introduces experimental support for MCPs, which is the Model Context Protocol, something that did cause a chaos when the folks at Blender implemented it. The way that the folks at Epic Games have added this feature is just brilliant. I do think that this is where most creative tools are headed. This simply allows large language models to interact directly with Unreal Engine system. So one of the things that they've done here is you can simply make sketches, define various parts, depending on which of the models you hook Unreal Engine up with to actually create a scene. Now the demo that was done here was in combination with Clad, Triple, Nano Banana, and so on. And so you can define scenes, get assets generated, build systems, extend functionalities, which is wild, and you can also use this as an assistant to test and do some beautiful optimization. So once you're done building your cities, you can literally tell this to create different kinds of skylines. You can change how the skylines look like, and you can simply use this to facilitate your world creation processes. And this also supports collaboration across teams, which means that you can also use these in collaboration with other team members. You can use these tools to build scenes and facilitate stuff based off templates that exist. Maybe there's a Niagara effect, and instead of building the whole thing from scratch, you can use a template and tell the MCP to create the kind of effect that you want. And with that, you can simply boycott all of those technicalities and move forward with creation rather than dealing with styling things in and out. Of course, those skills will still be useful for subtleties and specific stuff. However, MCPs will get a lot of things done faster in Unreal Engine. Another demo that they did is how you can use this to make things happen quickly. And so this demo had to do with them showing off some assets that they got from Megascans, setting up the asset, generating the depth map, and then loading that depth map into the MCP. And once this runs completely, it generates a styled render based off the prompts that was fed into the MCP. It's with the NPC and letting that generate a specific kind of scene. Now, because this actually uses some sort of context to understand objects within the scene, you can select any object and convert that object to a 3D model. And so with that, you can bring that in and you can make modifications. It comes with the textures and all that stuff, and you can load that into your scene and control these things how you want. I see these as a means of creating nice, cool rendering and also facilitating the general game creation workflow in Unreal Engine. So there is a lot of things that this will be able to do for creators, and the system does support things like levels, and the current MCP supports blueprints, levels, materials, meshes, assets, all of that stuff. And I do think creators would definitely find this one super useful. Additionally, styled rendering without overly relighting or resimulating a scene will be done easier. You can now play with variations and generate different kinds of scene depending on your visual idea. This is going to save creators a lot of time, as this can allow you to create variations for both videos, screenshots, renders, and concept art. These tools are made for artists to make their works faster and also lay foundations of what will potentially be the final result of the scene that they're going for. Unreal Engine 5.8 is introducing MetaHumans collection for generating large-scale crowds of realistic digital humans. And this is something that is pretty huge, as Unreal Engine's MetaHuman framework for creating and animating realistic 3D characters now gets a good number of features which allows it to make high quality MetaHuman crowds. So it's not just creating hero characters anymore, but you can now simply generate optimized instances of MetaHumans and then transition from high fidelity characters to low fidelity instance skeletal meshes as the distance from the camera increases. And the characters are not the only thing that gets optimized. Textures are also optimized. The crowds are compatible with the mass entity, which is Unreal Engine's framework for handling AI crowd behaviors, and can also be rendered either with Nanite or dynamic LOD systems. And of course, you can simply generate variations of crowd actors, use existing MetaHuman tools to build libraries of faces, bodies, hair, clothing, all of that stuff. And if you're into motion capture, the Lifelink Hub is now production ready, and you can now monitor live video feeds from multiple sources, all directly within the Lifelink Hub. At the same time, there's a new dedicated facial animation preview window and the new procedural auto camera that follows the action dynamically. And we did mention Meshcapade sometime last year, and we also mentioned the fact that the folks at Epic Games have purchased it. They've now integrated Meshcapade right inside of Unreal Engine, and this now allows for Markerless full body performance capture with Unreal Engine. And for sure, this uses a plugin which exists on Fab, and this means that with a single camera, you can now use the MetaHuman animator to do full body capture, facial performance capture, and you can do a simple combined capture without a suit, a marker, a helmet camera, or any of that stuff. Loading a simple video of a subject making a performance and drive animation with that. Another interesting thing which is also here is the mesh to MetaHuman expansion, as artists can now transform almost any human mesh into fully rigged MetaHuman using a single workflow. And that in itself is pretty interesting. And for manipulating characters, there's a direct mesh control feature which is now available with Unreal Engine 5.8. This is still in experimental, and this allows creators to animate by manipulating character meshes directly. Of course, there is a number of changes to character rigging and animation in Unreal Engine 5, but this particular feature has caught the eyes of literally almost everyone. This is something that we get to see with big studio in-house tools, and having these in a public free tool like Unreal Engine just sort of evens the playing field. Of course, there are modes to how you can get this to work, but at this point, understanding that this is a possibility that allows you to edit and make these changes right on your viewport is super amazing. As this is supported across both viewport and sequencer, according to the folks at Epic, the mesh-based controls are intended to complement shape-based controls and not really replace them. Another major animation addition is the control rig dynamics. There's a new lightweight particle-based simulation system that has been integrated right into the control rig. This feature is simply designed to create believable secondary motion in real time without requiring expensive full physical simulation. And this can be used for hair motion, cloth movement, tail dynamics, soft bodies, and so on. Unlike heavier systems like Chaos Clothes, Chaos Flesh, the control rig dynamic simply focuses on speed and runtime efficiency, and this simply makes it ideal for gameplay application and in-game cosmetics. By default, this is going to deliver 5 times runtime performance compared to the existing physics-based animation system. And for physics and simulation enhancement, Chaos Cloth is also having a new data flow, and for those who are working with mobile devices, there's some interesting updates in that regards as well. We're also getting some nice cool sandbox tools that would allow creators to experiment, share partial works, and do some very beautiful stuff. Outside that, we have a ton of cool features that are making their first appearance. One of them has to do with mesh terrain, and the mesh terrain is a new system that is currently in experimental, and this simply offers creators the ability to work with full 3D terrains inside of Unreal Engine. This simply replaces the limitations of traditional height maps, which was something that we get to use previously. And unlike the standard landscape system that existed with Unreal Engine previously, this new terrain allows creators to build overhangs, floating islands, caves and tunnels, and various complex vertical terrain structures. Because this is mesh, you can optimize these with some level of details. So if you like to triangulate these or possibly leave it as high quality, you can simply do all of that. Another thing that is also very useful with this is the fact that the terrains can also be sculpted directly inside of Unreal Engine or imported from external applications as either meshes or height map. This also features non-destructive modifiers that simply makes it very easy for you to make changes within your scene. At the same time, the system is also fully incorporated with PCG, which is the procedural creation graph, and is also tightly integrated with the world partition and Wi-Fi per actor. And with mesh terrain, this is going to offer creators a wonderful advantage of automatically creating high quality meshes that they can control and work with however they want. And while we speak about mesh terrain, we're also getting the procedural vegetation editor, and this is a new experimental vegetation tool that enables artists to grow highly realistic vegetations directly inside of Unreal Engine. This comes with some amazing features, which includes that they are fully Nanite ready vegetations, which means that you don't need to do any extra thing to get them working. They have dynamic interaction across each other, So if you create multiple plants, you get to see that they interact with each other naturally, and there's a natural light competition system, especially when you're simulating the growth system that comes with it. These tools come with biologically accurate growth simulation system that allows you to make that simulation of a growing plant right inside of Unreal Engine. And because this is procedural, artists can build reusable vegetation tools through PCG subgraphs. Interestingly, you can generate vegetation from sketches, and you can also convert imported meshes into editable vegetation asset. And speaking about things that artists would have more to work with, the procedural content generator is getting better and even smarter. As the procedural content generation workflow receives a good number of updates, artists can now manually modify procedural generated environments without breaking the procedural system itself. And this allows for both automation and artist-driven direction. And so for the procedural content generation, we're getting some improvements, which includes support for array, maps, structure, and advanced attributes. We are also getting improved spatial generation systems, and there are some embedded subgraphs that are coming with this one. And there's also more advanced cities, building, and environment generation workflows that are now part of the procedural content generation system that you will be getting with Unreal Engine 5.8. And this is going to help for faster world building. And speaking about faster world building, the fast geometry streaming plugin that was showcased in The Witcher 4 that has also gotten some major improvements, which includes speed, stability, scalability, massive world streaming support, and the system now enables seamless loading of huge open worlds with minimal performance impact. Megalights is now fully production ready. This now has some very cool improvement that gives creators nicer and improved visual fidelity, and this now properly supports subsurface scattering. There's also the inclusion of voxel translucency, which is camera aligned voxel, and there's also the light channels and cloud shadows. At this point, if you get to use Megalights, you will definitely notice a better improvement compared to what it was when it was previously introduced in Unreal Engine 5.5. And this production ready tool also ships with some very cool features, which allows for debugging and troubleshooting of your simple or complex Megalight setups. And this includes the Light Finder tool, which you can use to find lights or maybe simply troubleshoot lights within your scene, and a ray visualizer that simply shows ray iteration within a level. And so if lighting is your thing and you like working with Unreal Engine, you will definitely love this one. And as much as we've talked about Megalights, Lumen now has a lightweight mode, and this is sort of considered as Lumen Light. This is optimized for lower GPU usage while preserving high quality global illumination. The idea for this is to benefit creators with lower graphic cards so they can get faster renders and improve console support. At the time of reporting, 60 FPS support on Nintendo Switch is also possible. There is also the fog screen space scattering, which is a new volumetric fog rendering that simulates realistic multi-light scattering for dense fog, smoke, dust, atmospheric scenes, and so on. And for shaders, Unreal Engine 5.8 introduces an experimental Toon shader which is built on the framework of Substrate, and this is to give rendering artists abilities to create anime-styled rendering, stylized visuals, cartoon-styled workflows, and hand-drawn aesthetics. The future of Unreal Engine is pretty interesting, as 5.8 just simply represents one of the most feature-packed Unreal Engine 5 released yet, and this is focusing on a whole lot of things, which includes massive world creation, faster iteration, AI integration, real-time cinematic workflows, and scalable digital humans. And by default, for anyone that is thinking about a game engine that they can start exploring with, then Unreal Engine has actually set the pace, and you can go ahead and start exploring with it right now. At the same time, if you're thinking about learning Unreal Engine, the folks at Humble Bundle alongside the folks at Zenva have put together the Learn Unreal Engine 2026 course bundle, and this comes with 25 interesting items that will guide you on how you can get started with Unreal Engine and start building games. The folks at Humble Bundle have also partnered with some big creators to provide nice Humble Bundle asset that comes with tons of cool and amazing assets that you can use for your game. So whether you're into creatures, environment, or world building, there is a bundle that caters to your need. And speaking about bundles and stuff that caters to your need, let's talk about the folks at RenderHub, as RenderHub has also put together some amazing cool set of assets that creators will definitely love. So if you like to get some amazing assets, of course you can head over to RenderHub right now and check out some of these cool creators that have put together high quality assets. If you would like to just discover assets, you can simply go over to your Discover 3D that brings you over to a section where you'll be able to discover amazing assets based off categories. So whether you're trying to discover a large collection of insects, or maybe you're into environment and scenes, or possibly you're into food and drinks, jewelries and accessories, firearms and other weapons, alongside a lot of other stuff, you can now simply use the discovery page to find this with ease. On the other hand, if you're looking for free 3D models, you can also go ahead and check out some amazing free 3D models that they've also put together. And for those who are feeling very inspired and possibly like to join the contest, the folks at Render Hub are currently running their Sexy Robot Contest version 3, and this is running from now till 30th of June 2026, with a prize pool of 5,550, winners to be announced on 14th of July 2026. Terms and condition applies to this, so just in case you like to join this, it is worth mentioning that you come through and read this up. And for those who like to follow up CG events across the world, the folks at Render Hub have also put together the 3D and CG event calendar for 2026, and this is a collection of notable CG and 3D events happening in 2026. So just in case you like to join any of these events, plan for them, or even get informed on when these events will be happening, then you can simply come over to Render Hub and check these ones out for yourself. And if you like to be inspired, then you can simply take a look at the 3D art gallery, where you will find amazing art pieces that other creators have put together that can inspire your next creation. So this is it for those who like to take a look at this, possibly you like to join the Sexy Robot Contest version 3, or maybe you like to check out the 3D and CG event calendar of 2026, or discover nice 3D models that you can now use in your next project. Then Render Hub is the home for you. Tell me what you guys think about this one in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.